Matt, crypto goes mainstream. The Commodities Futures Trading Commission announcing the launch of the first government-supervised crypto trading platform.
Hi, good morning, Maria. Of course, right now, as we all know, you can buy and sell crypto online already, but...
Hey there! Welcome back to the channel. It's so good to see you again. I really hope you're having an amazing day no matter where you are in this incredible world of ours. Today we're diving into XRP, and I want to kick things off with something fascinating. The founder of Crypto Basics shared that he completely stopped looking at XRP charts ages ago, and here's why. He calls it black swan capitalism, where the candles are basically meaningless without the bigger picture. His approach? He follows the money trail. He watches who's actually adopting what technology, what systems are being quietly rebuilt behind the scenes. That's where the real signals are hiding. Now here's the thing. I totally get this perspective. Sure, I still analyze charts with you every single day because I know you love seeing where XRP might be heading from its current position. But let's be brutally honest here. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can predict this market with 100% accuracy. In past cycles, some people got lucky with their calls. Dark Defender is honestly one of the few analysts who's been consistently close to the mark during this cycle, and he's expecting something big to break out soon. But for me, the real excitement is in what's happening behind the curtain. That's exactly why I focus so much on the bigger picture on this channel. I want to show you how everything we've been patiently waiting for, literally for years, is finally unfolding right before our eyes. This is why today's XRP price almost doesn't matter. What really matters is where XRP will be in a few weeks, maybe a few months from now. So everyone's freaking out about XRP right now, saying we're about to see this massive crash all the way down to 50 cents. But honestly, I'm just not buying into that panic. Look, I get it. The market's looking a little shaky and people are scared. But here's what I'm seeing that's got me feeling pretty optimistic. Remember when XRP was hanging out around $1.98? That wasn't just some random number. That was solid support holding us up for quite a while. Now here's the interesting part. I think our new support floor is sitting just above that $2 mark. And you know what? I don't think it's just going to sit there. I actually think we're going to see that support level keep climbing higher and higher over time. Here's the thing everyone seems to be missing. Those cheap entry points that people are hoping for, they might not be as easy to grab as everyone thinks. Could we potentially hit those lower prices if something absolutely crazy happened across the entire crypto market? Sure, I mean, anything's possible in this space. But do I actually see that playing out? Not really. When I look at everything that's happening right now, all the developments we've been tracking, I just don't see us sliding all the way back down to 50 cents. The foundation underneath XRP feels way too strong for that kind of collapse. Alright, so everyone's asking, will XRP hit $5 in 2026? There's this AI model floating around predicting $4.40, but some analysts are throwing out even higher numbers. And honestly, it's driving me a little crazy because they're all pushing everything into next year. Like I mentioned in my last video, why is everyone obsessing over 2026 when we haven't even wrapped up 2025 yet? It's like we're completely writing off the next few weeks. And don't even get me started on this latest article from the Motley Fool asking, can XRP bounce back in 2026? Listen, I've got to be straight with you. The Motley Fool absolutely cannot stand XRP. They've been spreading fear about this crypto for ages, and their go-to argument is always the same. XRP will only do well if Bitcoin does well. You know what? I am so ready for the day when we finally break free from Bitcoin's shadow. Real-world utility is going to separate the wheat from the chaff, and a lot of these cryptocurrencies are going to start moving independently. That's when things get really interesting. But here's the plot twist. We could still have an absolutely massive December. Nobody has any clue what's coming in these next few weeks. For all we know, crypto could completely flip the script overnight, and we could be looking at XRP blasting past $10 before New Year's Eve. The truth is, we just have to buckle up and see where this wild ride takes us from here. Okay, this is huge! G-Treasury just made it official. They're now officially part of the Ripple family. And let me tell you why this is such a big deal. These guys have been in the treasury game for over 40 years. That's 4 decades of helping companies manage their finances and optimize their cash flow. They know this space inside and out. And now, they're bringing all that expertise straight into the digital asset world. Here's what really gets me excited about this. They're giving their existing customers the chance to tap into real-time settlement and institutional-grade infrastructure. And the best part? They get to do it through a platform they already know and trust. No learning curve, no switching costs, just seamless integration. Listen to how they're describing the vision. The future of corporate treasury has no friction, no boundaries. I mean, that's exactly what we've been talking about with XRP's utility, right? Instant, borderless payments that just work. You can tell they're pumped about what's coming next. They said they're so excited for what's ahead. And honestly, so am I. Because this G-Treasury acquisition, it's officially done and dusted. Another major piece of the puzzle just locked into place. And then, boom, this massive move happened that got everyone talking. 250 million XRP just moved from Ripple to some unknown wallet. And immediately people started speculating that it's heading to an over-the-counter desk at G-Treasury. But here's the thing. Nobody actually knows for sure where that XRP ended up. But you know what? I'm not even worried about it. And here's why. With all these inflows pouring into the ETFs right now, it doesn't matter how much XRP Ripple releases, it's getting gobbled up faster than they can dish it out. All that XRP is just disappearing from circulation, getting locked away in custody and cold storage. Think about it. These ETF companies are still seeing massive inflow days. So even if Ripple locks up 700 million tokens and leaves 300 million floating around, that entire 300 million is going to vanish in just a couple of days. And this pattern, it's going to keep repeating month after month. Bottom line, we're still heading straight towards scarcity, which is exactly what we want to see. Now, speaking of big moves, check this out. Bitnomial and CFTC Commissioner Carolyn Pham just got featured on Fox Business. This is huge because Bitnomial just became the first U.S. exchange with full CFTC regulation for physically delivered crypto spot trading. And get this, their newly launched perpetual futures platform just got backed by a massive $25 million Series A round led by none other than Ripple. Let me play this clip for you because you need to hear this.
Matt, crypto goes mainstream. The Commodities Futures Trading Commission announcing the launch of the first government-supervised crypto trading platform. It allows Americans to instantly buy, sell, and finance digital assets. Fox Business's Darren Botello, live in Washington with all the details. Darren, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Maria. Of course, right now, as we all know, you can buy and sell crypto online already. But this is the first time, like you said, a spot trading platform is getting the full backing of the federal government. So why does this even matter to investors that the CFTC is backing this new Bitnomial platform? These other platforms are legally operating, but here's the catch, Maria. They're often called the Wild West. Basically, it's buyer beware. We've seen this with the collapse of FTX and customers eventually losing out on huge profits they would have had. Their money stayed safe in the market, they would have had it. Now with this Bitnomial platform, there are stricter standards for transparency, security, and consumer protection to prevent an FTX-style collapse. We spoke exclusively with acting CFTC Chairman Caroline Pham ahead of this new platform going live.
Not only do we want Americans to come back home and to be trading here where they know that they have the protections that they deserve, but again, that means that American companies that are involved in the crypto industry, they're going to want to build here. They're going to want to invest here. They're going to want to hire here. So this is overall a net benefit to the economy.
And Bitnomial tells us ahead of their announcement, the actual launch of the platform is set for next week. Maria?
So this thing is going live next week. And here's why this is absolutely massive. It's got the full backing of the US government behind it. That's not something you see every day in crypto. Now, this has me thinking about where exchanges are heading in the future. And I've got a pretty wild prediction for you. I think we're about to see traditional banks transform into crypto exchanges. I know that sounds crazy, but think about it. It makes total sense. Look, whether people love it or hate it, those Wild West days in crypto, they're coming to an end. The days of anything goes, completely unregulated trading are slowly but surely wrapping up. And honestly, that might not be such a bad thing. We're moving into this new era where everything's going to be properly regulated, backed by legitimate institutions, and actually protected by government oversight. It's a completely different world from where we started, but it's the kind of foundation that could take crypto mainstream in ways we've never seen before. All right, this next piece of news comes from Smoke, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. WisdomTree just dropped a report that's going to make your jaw hit the floor. Get ready for this. XRP is literally the only major cryptocurrency that's seeing sustained institutional inflows across every single region. I'm talking about institutions continuing to pour money into XRP no matter where they're located, no matter what product type they're using. And here's the kicker. This is happening during a month when most other cryptocurrencies are getting absolutely hammered with selling pressure. While everyone else is running for the exits, institutions are doubling down on XRP. Let me break down these numbers for you because they're insane. In Europe alone, XRP products brought in $549 million of fresh institutional money this year. That's more than Ethereum, more than Solana, and more than every other individual coin or basket product out there, except for Bitcoin. And when you put it in perspective, XRP pulled in almost half of what Bitcoin managed to bring in. Think about that for a second. Bitcoin, the granddaddy of all crypto, and XRP is right there keeping pace with institutional interest. This isn't just random retail buying. We're talking about serious institutional money that's flowing into XRP while everything else is getting sold off. That's the kind of confidence that speaks volumes. Now, you've got to keep in mind that Bitcoin has had this massive first mover advantage in pretty much every area of crypto. So the fact that institutions are buying XRP at this pace globally, not just in the US, but literally everywhere around the world, that's creating this incredible momentum that's just going to keep building. And here's something really interesting that's happening right now. We're seeing some serious outflows from Bitcoin. So where's all that money going? Well, it looks like institutions are starting to position themselves beyond just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Some of that money is probably flowing into Solana, sure, but we're already seeing crystal clear evidence of the demand for XRP. Those ETF numbers we just talked about, they're telling us everything we need to know. While other cryptocurrencies are struggling to maintain institutional interest, XRP is pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars from institutions worldwide. This isn't just a trend. This is institutional money recognizing real utility and making strategic moves. And when you see that kind of smart money flowing in while everything else is experiencing outflows, that's when you know something big is happening beneath the surface. Okay, this is absolutely incredible. XRP ETFs just smashed through the $1 billion mark in assets under management. This is seriously a historic moment for XRP's entire journey. Sorry, it's been a crazy long day, but I had to share this with you right away. Just like I predicted earlier this week, we've officially crossed that billion-dollar milestone. And now, we're already setting our sights on the next billion. But here's what's got me really excited. People are saying this momentum is just getting started. We've got more ETFs coming online, and if this pace keeps up month after month, we're still heading straight toward that scarcity scenario we've been talking about. Think about it this way. Even when Ripple releases more XRP or sells to over-the-counter desks, all of that supply is just vanishing at lightning speed at this rate. The demand is absolutely insatiable right now. And the best part? There's no sign of this slowing down at all. If anything, it feels like we're just hitting our stride. When you see institutional money flowing in this consistently, creating this kind of sustained demand, that's when you know we're in for something really special. This billion-dollar milestone isn't just a number. It's proof that the institutional world is taking XRP seriously in a way we've never seen before. All right, this next post comes from Future XRP, and honestly, I think a lot of you are going to relate to this because I'm right there with them on every single point. I'm getting really frustrated with institutions being able to load up on XRP through these behind-the-scenes, over-the-counter desks and private liquidity channels. We have zero transparency into how these desks get their supply or how much of a head start these big players are getting. And here's what really gets me. While we're stuck buying at whatever price the market is showing us, institutions are getting these massive, slippage-free block trades. It feels like the price is being artificially held down while we're waiting for the real utility to kick in. I'm so tired of watching both longs and shorts get liquidated just because market makers feel like flexing their power. And honestly, I'm tired of waiting for that moment we all know is coming, when XRP's price finally reflects what this thing was actually built to do. But here's the thing, and this is a big but. When you're holding an asset that's designed to move trillions and eventually quadrillions across a global financial system that's literally being rebuilt right in front of our eyes, you wake up every day knowing something huge. The opportunity hasn't passed us by. It's just unfolding way slower than any of us want. But it is happening, and it's going to be worth every second of this wait. I agree with this post 100%. Think about it. If we could buy at those discounted over-the-counter prices that institutions are getting, imagine the positions we could build. Everyone would be way better positioned than they are right now. But here's how I look at it. For the first time in history, retail investors beat the institutions to something this massive. We got to XRP before the really big money showed up, and that's absolutely incredible. Even if you're buying today, you're still getting in before the serious institutional money floods in. Whatever you pick up now could easily 10x in the short term. Longer term, we're talking 100x, maybe even 1000x. Who really knows? Because when XRP starts moving all that global money, the price is going to be absolutely astronomical. Some people are calling for 4 digits, others say 5 digits. I'm even seeing people throw around 6-digit predictions now. Can you imagine XRP hitting $100,000? But here's what I'm really waiting for. The catalyst that I think could make this happen. Ripple taking business away from Swift? That's massive. Ripple capturing the derivatives market? Even bigger. But imagine this. Ripple grabs market share from both Swift and derivatives at the same time we're seeing true scarcity kick in. That would be the perfect storm that could actually push us toward those 6-digit price targets. Now, $1,000? That's definitely achievable. Even $10,000 seems realistic with this new financial system emerging. But when people start talking 6 digits, that's the only path I can see all 3 of those major catalysts hitting simultaneously. The chances are pretty slim, but the direction we're heading, it's making those odds a little less crazy every day. If I had to put odds on it right now, maybe 5 to 10%. But if things keep moving the way they are, we could be looking at 50, maybe even 60 to 70% probability. And here's a wild card. What if the IMF decides XRP becomes part of their special drawing rights basket? That could be an overnight event that launches us straight into 4 digits. Combine that with scarcity, and we're in completely uncharted territory. I'm just thinking out loud here, but what's happening right now is way bigger than most people realize. Even just regulatory clarity and banks jumping on board is going to be huge. No matter how you slice it though, we're all holding what could turn out to be winning lottery tickets. But until that moment comes, we've got to stay patient, stay positive, and keep building toward that life-changing moment. With that said, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I'll catch you in the next video. Have an awesome night.